All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back. Took a 1 week hiatus because
That's
Scott had
right.
to go out to Provo, Utah to go see a game. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but we are back. Episode 14 of the It's Always Golf O'Clock podcast. AJ Scott here to see you guys, talk to you guys about things about golf. We've got our NFL and NCAA picks. Got a lot to talk about today, man. How are you, buddy?
Doing well, man. Like you said, went out to Utah, had a great trip. Unfortunately, my
Yeah.
dad got sick out there, and the game definitely did not turn out the way he wanted
No.
it to. But
Tough one for
maybe,
the Wildcats out in
yeah,
Utah, huh?
maybe they'll get back on track. But anybody that's never been out to Salt Lake City and the Provo area, highly, highly recommend. I will say their fans were great and nice. Beautiful scenery at the stadium with the mountains in the
Mhm.
background, and you're a half hour from Park City outside of Salt Lake City. Highly recommend. Would love to go back, especially with my wife sometime and other family. And but yeah, loved it. Played some golf out there, which we'll talk about a little
Yeah,
bit. But anyways,
awesome,
yeah, it
man.
was good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, yeah, I just kind of hung out last week. We had a lot going on. You know, the girls are in softball. They're grinding away, doing well. The Birdies, which is our team name, the Birdies.
That's awesome.
We're 5-0 right now. Got another big one today. Got a little rain out, but we are able to get run over at the end to call it a game. But it's been a lot of fun coaching them for Little League and everything, and I'm really enjoying it. And but we're in the grind of it right now, so we're trying to get in. But I was able to get 2 rounds of golf in this weekend, which we will talk about in a little bit. Played a couple courses around here, which I'm excited about. But so let's dive right into it. Professional golf. So what is going on with professional golf? A big week here.
That's right.
President's Cup week. So um, if you watch this golf, it's always golf o'clock. You probably know what the President's Cup is. It's the USA versus the Internationals. Every other year they flip flop with the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup. So this year's the President's Cup. It is at Royal Montreal Golf
Right.
Club, which I did a little research on this course. And Royal Montreal, it's a par 70 playing 7,279 yards. So it's a little bit of a doozy. All right. I did not know this until I read up about it. It is the oldest golf course in North America. How about that, man?
Wow, that's awesome.
So the way this course went, kind of came to fruition, right? It was 1873. It was established in 1873, where they started playing on a pasture. It was a park of Mount Regal, a park of Mount Regal, and they're in a pasture playing. So they just like picked it up in a field and started playing golf, and that's how they made their first 9 holes. In 1896, it went to a place called the Duval. They called it the Dixie. Okay, so they moved it to Dixie. And then in 1959, they opened a new location, which is the location right now. And Dick Wilson and Joe Lee were the ones who put it together. So again, the whole Royal Montreal is started in 1873. All right, 150 plus years. I think it's 150 years this year. They've hosted one President's Cup before. And we have two captains this year who are going to be there. Jim Furyk's on the USA side, Mike Weir's on the international side. And I think it's going to be a pretty cool event. And especially being in Canada, and they have a lot of Canadians on the team. They're playing well. If you want to pull up the little roster here, we can look at some of these guys.
Yeah,
But
let me
I
pull
love
up.
watching the President's Cup. I love watching the Ryder Cup. The Just a team event like this that gets the alternate shot and the best ball and all. It's just a lot of fun to watch and everything like that. So go ahead over to let's go to the menu real quick there.
Yep.
Yep, and then if you pull down to the teams, where's that?
Let's see.
Go to scoring. Go to scoring. Scoring will show it. If you hit scoring,
Yep.
first one. Yep. And it'll show, I think, all the players on the teams there. There we go. Yep.
All right.
Scroll on down. You got Jim Furyk and Mike Weir. You got the assistant captain. So the USA team stacked. Keegan Bradley, Sam Burns, Patrick Cantlay, Wyndham Clark, Tony Finau, Brian Harmon. You got Scotty Scheffler in there somewhere. Russell Headley, Max Homa, Xander Schauffele. There's Scotty right
Morikawa.
there. Colin Morikawa and Sihit Tagala. So a stacked American team.
Yep.
Um, but I think the internationals got some flair here too. I saw Hideki Matsuyama's on that team, Jason Day's on that team. I think
Yep.
is Adam Scott.
I've always been a Jason Day fan. So
Yeah, big fan of Jason Day. And then you got some of these Canadians. Mackenzie Hughes is playing really, really well this year. Corey
yep.
Connors is on there, and he's playing well. Tom Kim's a really good player.
Yep.
young player, young star. So
Isn't he on Full Swing or one of
he
them is?
was, yeah, he was on
Yeah.
Full Swing, I think. Yep.
Yeah.
And then you got Minwoo Lee who's playing all right. Adam Scott's on it, so Adam Scott will be playing, bringing a little bit of flair. So you got some great players on these teams. They're going to go at it. It's going to be a great event
What
to watch.
starts to does it start tomorrow or
Starts Thursday. Starts
Yeah.
Thursday. So they go Thursday, Friday,
Thursday,
Saturday,
that's right.
Sunday,
Yeah.
with Sundays being
The course opened
the
today for
the
practice rounds.
singles.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, yep. So it's gonna be, I think, a lot of fun to watch. The USA has won this one. They've got a 15-1 record. I think it's 15-1 if I'm not mistaken, against the international. So it's really been one lopsided. But listening to what they're trying to do and what Mike Weir's trying to do is trying to get this team together and play a lot. Hopefully, it'll be a good competition and we'll be able to see some good golf. Looking forward
Yep.
to it.
Yep. All right. Let's move on to our next thing. So we got the should we talk about my golf in Utah a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll stop sharing my screen here. So yeah, it was as you heard in the beginning, I was very fortunate to go out to Utah this past week with my dad and another good friend. We went out there to watch a college football game, Kansas State at BYU. Unfortunately, my team did not win, but it was still a great trip. Beautiful area, great people. The golf was awesome out there. We played the Oaks at Spanish Fork, which is just south of Salt Lake City, just outside of Springville, Utah, and Provo, Utah.
Hmm.
18-hole course. The front nine is very it's lower than it's lower elevation. The back nine was in great shape. Beautiful views. If you haven't seen, I posted a brief video on YouTube channel, brief short, and on Instagram. But played all right, rented clubs. I really don't even know what my score is yet. I haven't added
Yeah.
it up, but that wasn't great, but wasn't terrible. It is playing with somebody else's club sometime. I just didn't want to fly mine out there. Um, but yeah, it was great. Beautiful weather. I think it was mid 70s, almost
Mm.
80 degrees. It was actually on the last day of summer, so
Yeah.
uh, which is pretty cool. So that was fun, but very it's at the base of the mountain range. The back nine is more elevated. You kind of drive across the street from the clubhouse, and all of those nine holes are a little bit higher elevation in the front nine. Very crowded, very busy course, so popular out there. It had, I believe, bent grass greens. They were super, super fast. Not what like you and I played last time at where was it? Meadowlands.
Meadowlands, super
Let me
slow.
see if I can bring up the golf course website here.
What were the rates out there? I mean, this is prime
With
property.
cart, I think it was just a little over 60.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's really good.
Yeah, 60 per person. So I got the site up here. It's a beautiful course. So this is the course right here. So
Yeah, you can't beat that, huh?
no, that I believe might have been 18 because I
Wow.
remember coming back into a mountain like that.
Obviously, there weren't no any snow caps up there yet.
No, well, not like that. There were some of the mountains off in the distance, and if you went on the other side of the range there from Salt Lake, you did have some snow. Not as much as here, but we stayed kind of over here in Springville to the left a little bit. But I actually parred this hole, which was nice. It's a par five, so
Nice.
I had a great tee shot, and then friend Nate had a good tee shot. One of the guys we were playing with, I think Nate ended up bogeying, and I ended up parring, so I'll take that to finish off. But
Hmm.
just a beautiful course. Let me see if I can find any other. I think there's another gallery in here somewhere. But yeah, see, they got an event center. They're actually having a wedding or something as we finish. But this is the
Oh,
clubhouse
sweet.
here.
Yeah.
So right here to the right is number nine. So you finish here. I think this is seven. No, this is eight, and I think nine comes back. So you tee off here for eight, going out, and then nine comes back. And then you're the 10 through 18s over here on the other side. It's a parking lot, and you go across the road over here. But here's some more pictures of the course. Just really
Venue.
pretty course. It's kind of showing more their banquet area. But
Yeah.
if you're ever out in Utah in the Salt Lake area, I highly, highly recommend recommend this course, but check out the YouTube page here with I got a short that I posted of the footage from the golf round and a shot or two that I made. And then also check it out on Instagram if you're following on Instagram. But definitely a fun round. But and we had beautiful weather, really beautiful weather the whole time for the most part. Only rained on us once and in the basically in the 70s. So
That's awesome.
that's
That's great.
yeah,
That's great.
pretty much it. So
Oh, good, good. So yeah, we had a eventful weekend here. I was able to get a couple rounds of golf in. So I went
nice.
with my cousin Alex out on Saturday over to Oak Valley. We talked about Oak Valley before, the
Great
Arnold Palmer
course.
course. Great course, is in great shape right now. Um, played okay. Shot 41 on the front, 42 on the back. I was hitting the ball for the most part pretty well. Didn't putt great, it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. So couple few loose shots here and there, and just kind of put myself in a little bit of trouble a couple times. But good course, Arnold Palmer course. Always in great shape when we seem to get out there. The rough's starting to get a little thick now. They're starting to
Oh
thicken
yeah.
it up a little bit. That rough
Oh,
gets
oh,
thick. You got
yep.
to kind of stand over your ball to find it. So
And then the leaves will start falling. And it'll be really fun to find your
it'll be
ball.
really tough to find the ball. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Saw a nice big old black snake out there on one of the car paths. I mean, that's like the third or
That's
fourth
your
snake
third
we've seen
time,
out there.
man.
I know.
Two with
Like
me.
everywhere we go, we see a black on that course, and this was on the back nine. But I was like,
Wow.
man, that's a big old black snake right there. And I was like, yeah, every time, never fails
Yeah,
to see
the
a
other
snake.
two have been on the front nine on the same hole.
Yep, yep, yep. So, but no, there was nobody really out there. We played at around 12:30, I think.
Mhm.
Then went over to the Tanglewood Pizza Company and had a
Wow.
calzone, which is
That
really
place is
good.
great.
Place is great. Have great local beers and stuff like that. We're able to get and some great pizzas. And they have like a big wood oven, big wood brick oven, whatever those things are called, brick fire oven or wood fire oven. It was really good. Um, and then Sunday got up early and played with my buddy John and his dad and another friend of his over at Holly Ridge, and Holly Ridge is in
Nice.
Archdale. And it's awesome. It's an awesome course, and they've done a lot of work on it. They redid the clubhouse. The clubhouse has like 3 golf simulators in there now,
That's
so you can go
awesome.
do stuff with that. And the course, the greens are enormous. I mean like gigantic. The guy, one of the guys, Will, we played with, is a member over at one of the country clubs around here at Forsyth, and he's like, the all he kept talking about was how big the greens are. He was amazed at how big they are. Well, what they did was they redid them and they kind of brought them back, and put new grass on them, and they're Bermuda greens and everything, and they're beautiful. And they ran really true. They were very firm. They were firm because they were newer, so they have to soften up a little bit. But they were in great shape. And the nice thing about playing Holly Ridge is they're like on the third hole, there's a little tribute to the family, and it's the Hollies. Those are the ones who had the farm, and it's their farm, their barn, their house is right off of the third hole, and it was pretty cool. Um, and it's wide open out there. Like, and when
Yeah,
I
I
mean
remember
wide
that
open,
from when we played a
it
long
is
time ago.
wide open. They actually have power lines that run a kind of through the course,
Yep.
and you can hear the electricity on the power lines when you're teeing off on hole 4. It's a pretty serene sight. It's pretty cool, but really nice course. Like I said, great shape. There was a lot of people out there, but it was a little slow around, probably about almost close to a 5-hour round, but
Wow.
um, it was I mean it was fine. We had a great time out there, and um, we are definitely going to be going back out there to play
Nice. Yes,
soon,
definitely
because
a fall round on a weekend that I don't
definitely
have football.
definitely a fall round. Get out there and play a little bit, and we'll have some fun. So we'll talk a little bit more about that course when we go out next time. But yeah, so playing this weekend, Scotty, you have an invite. I know you
Yeah,
gotta, don't
I'm,
know if you're gonna be able to, but here's for
yeah, I
everybody.
need to relax and spend some time here. So
Yeah, so
I
we're Alex and I are gonna head over to Jamestown Park. We played there a couple times already this year. It's in great shape. So excited about heading out there. and go Sunday morning. So I got softball practice in the afternoon, but we go out Sunday morning, go play some golf, and hopefully I can get back to even with him. So right now Alex is 2 up in our little end of the season tournament we're doing here. He is getting 4 strokes. So when I get back to even, which hopefully will be this weekend, he'll get 5 strokes. and then depending on which way we go, he gets, I'll add a stroke or I'll take a stroke away. So
Yeah,
right
you
now
and
it's
I
2-1.
haven't played that format yet, so it'll be interesting to see how you and I do like when we play that format
Yeah,
together.
I'm gonna kick your butt. You'll be 9 strokes if anything. But one thing we're gonna do is stroke play this time. But one thing we talked about doing, which we think would be really cool, would be to do like a match play, and
Hmm.
you get a stroke on like the four hardest holes on the front nine. But then you don't, if you have a big blow up hole, it doesn't like take you out completely. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So it's just one hole. So we're gonna keep doing what we're doing here. We're playing for lunch and beers over at Grandover at the end of the year, for our last round. So.
Nice.
And then next year, which you have to get in with, um, we have to have a minimum of 10 rounds to do this, Scotty. So that means you got to play 10 times before we go to the villages. But between him and I, and you and me, him, or whatever, however we want to do this, but we thought that the best way to do it is we're going to do it up until the villages round. And whoever's leading that first day of the villages, right, gets doesn't have to pay for any alcohol for that first day. And then
That's
we play
great.
the second day, and then the winner of that day doesn't have to pay. You know what I mean?
That's
And where we're
scary.
at. So we're gonna have a lot of fun with that. It just gives us the competition that we like to do. Him and I, I know he sent a little thing over to you. We're 240 days before we head back to the villages. You better get your
I know
flight,
you
bud.
book my flight and ask for the time off, or just book it and ask for forgiveness later.
That's what I would do. That's what
So,
we're gonna call your dad when
yeah,
we're on
because
the course.
you got to book the place.
Because got to play. Well, if he's like, I'm not going, then I'm like, I'm gonna rent it from you, man. I'm going. You
That,
know,
or we'll just play in Orlando.
yeah, well, we're going. I'll tell you
Yeah.
that we're going somewhere. So,
Yeah.
but I'm excited about heading down there and having the competition and stuff like that again. And um,
Cool.
I worked with a new putter, had Scotty Cameron in the bag this week, and he did really well for me, and I felt really good behind the ball. So we'll see if it can continue.
I actually played with a blade putter in Utah. That did okay. It was an older blade, but it was a little bit different because I'm used to playing with that mallet putter.
Mallet, big old
Yeah.
mallet, you got it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But when are we
Anyway.
gonna play again, man? If you're not playing this weekend, are you gonna be able to go next weekend or?
Oh, maybe.
Well,
We don't have football next weekend, so
well, we'll
here.
have to we'll have to talk about next week's recording on it.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
all right,
All right.
you know what time it is,
Hey.
ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. It's time for the football pick 'em.
Football pick'em. So we missed last week, but we have week 2 results.
Yep.
And I can beat you on the golf course all the time, Scotty, but I am not doing good in the pick'em. So I can tell you that right now.
Nope. I am up two because I won by one on week two, and then obviously we had to skip week three, or we skipped week three because we didn't have a show last week because we were busy and I was out of town and stuff. So we apologize about that. But yeah, here we
Yeah, I
got
don't think I don't think people are too worried.
yeah, our two followers.
Yeah, 2 followers that we got watching this, and tell Kindle and Shelly thank you for following us.
Right. We'll get there. We'll look back and be like,
Hey,
remember we had two followers.
hey, just
Um,
takes one. Just
right.
one big one.
Yeah. So you want to start off, or you
No,
want?
man, you got the lead. You start us off.
All right, so the first game is what, number 25, number
No,
23 at number
2,
25,
yeah, something like
K-State.
that. Yeah.
You know what poll you look at, coaches poll, I think K-State's 25 and Oklahoma State's like 22 or 23, and then
Both
K-State's like,
coming off losses. Both coming off losses.
yeah. K-State obviously a huge blowout loss, not who knows what happened. That was just ugly 6 minutes of football that happens every few years, but I'd never seen anything like that. That was crazy, and to be at the game was even crazier.
Yeah.
So hopefully they rebound. I don't know. I'm a little worried about this game. Obviously, Oklahoma State's pretty good. They did struggle a little bit against a really good
Utah.
Utah
Yeah.
team that will probably contend for the Big 12. Obviously, some people are picking K-State to contend, but K-State's got to fix a lot of things after this last game to get back up there. I can't root against my alma mater. I really don't know who to pick in this game, to be honest with you. I'm gonna have to stick with K-State just because they're the home team and they're my alma mater. So
All right.
that's what I'm going with.
I think K State.
And Kleiman has not lost 2 games in a row.
I I I,
And
I
no,
think K State's going to win this game. Here's what I'm going to tell you why. I think they got spanked out in
yeah,
Utah. I think they're a better team that was out there, and it was really like you said, 6 to 7 minutes of bad football that caused this.
right.
I think that quarterback is
Young quarterback.
good football player,
Right.
and he had a bad day. I think he's going to come back. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to win big. I think they're going to win by like 18 to
Well,
20.
last time they
Uh,
played them at home, they beat them 48. The K-State beat Oklahoma State 48 to nothing. Oklahoma State
yeah,
was decent that year, but
I think
I will say this one thing: being at the K-State at BYU game, crowd noise was a huge factor, and being in football and me being in football, that's huge. And
yeah,
if you watch that game, K-State had two drives in the beginning. It was really dominating that game, but they didn't the key was they couldn't punch it in the end zone because
yeah,
they had
field goals.
two false starts. And even
Mm,
the coaches said this. Now I think all around they just got out coached and outplayed in the end. Turnovers killed them, especially at key times. But
sure.
at one point, prior to really getting into the fourth quarter, BYU had under 50 yards rushing, and they pulled off a big run for a touchdown, but the game was pretty much out of reach at that point.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope K-State responds, knock on wood. So it is at K-State, so that's gonna be helpful. But yeah, that quarterback, you could tell he made some young, dumb mistakes. I will say this about Kleiman. I watched him at halftime after the Avery threw that second
Yep.
the first interception, second turnover
Mhm.
that K State had. He went up to him, and this is why when I think you have a classy coach, instead of yelling in his face, he like went up to him, put his arms around the kid, and who knows what he says. Like he probably said, "Hey, look, you'll be all right. Shake it off. Let's go into the second half." Obviously, they didn't have a good second half. He came out through an interception, our screen pass in the first series, but that's young mistakes. This kid's gonna be. I hope he doesn't transfer ever, but he's going to be a stud by the time he's a
Yeah.
senior. If he sticks
I think
around,
he's a good player. I think he's a pretty good
speed and
player.
everything. But so yeah, that's who I'm
All
going with.
right. All
All
right.
right,
So
let you do start this one.
yeah, Louisville, Notre Dame. I think Louisville's a good team. I think they're
Yep.
a strong team. I think going into Notre Dame is going to be a really a tough ask for them. I'm going to pick Notre Dame in this one. I think they're still reeling from that Northern Illinois loss, but I still think they're a really, really good football team. I mean, they did go down to Texas A&M and beat them, and I mean that was a good football team.
Yep.
They're really good. So I'm going to pick Notre Dame on this one.
Yeah, I think being at Notre Dame, I think I'm gonna have to go that way too. I wouldn't be surprised if Louisville pulls off the upset, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Notre Dame, kind of basically the same reasons that you just said too. So I was a Rudy fan back in the day, so I can't go against Rudy. Not that I'm a huge Notre Dame fan now, but you get what I'm saying.
Yep, yep. All
All
right,
right.
this is you.
Illinois at Penn State. This should be a good one. I don't remember what these teams are ranked, but
19's Illinois, and I think 9's Penn State, if I
yeah,
remember
so this should
correctly.
be a good game. Illinois played well. Coach Bielma, I actually worked with him in college. He was what I think linebackers coach at Kansas State when I was there. Known some other people who worked with him. He's got that program rolling right now. They struggled a bit last year. I think it's going to be hard for them to beat Penn State at Penn State, even though they did go on the road and beat Nebraska a couple
Mhm.
weeks ago. But I think I'm gonna go with Penn State on this one.
Okay. I like Illinois. I like Illinois a lot. I think they are a really, really good, sound football team. But I think Penn State's got too many weapons. I think this is gonna be a close game. I'm thinking field goal, you know, at the end of the game for Penn State to win is what I'm saying. But I think you're looking at a low scoring, kind of a drawn out, drug out, old school Big Ten football game. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, Hard hitting, but I think Penn State's going to pull it out.
Yep.
So now we come to the granddaddy of college football, the national championship game on week 5, something like
Yeah,
that,
no
right?
kidding.
Georgia at Alabama. Um, I can't wait for this game. I'm going to be parked on
What
my
time is
couch
this
watching
game?
this one, probably in the back porch, just enjoying it with a cold one and just letting these two
Yeah,
teams
what
go
time
at it.
is this game?
7:30,
Oh
7:30,
man,
so
maybe
prime time.
if Kenneland's really wants to, we could come out there after my game and enjoy a
Oh
drink.
yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'll
Yeah,
talk
I
to her
think that'd be
about
a lot
it.
of fun.
She's
Let me
standing
know.
right here, so
That would be great. We can do a quick podcast while we're out here
there you go.
watching the game together. But
I could come out there at
um,
least get you for the second half.
there you go, there you go. So I am going to I'm gonna pull off the upset here. I'm pulling for I think Alabama's gonna win it. I think this is Coach DeBoer's. This is his coming out party. I think Alabama's got something to prove. I think
Hmm.
um, they are going to be home, and I just think it's this is going to set the college football precedent, I think, for the rest of this year.
Yep.
This game right here. I think Texas has got a big one with Georgia coming up in a couple weeks too. But I mean, I think Alabama's. I think Alabama's going to prove that they're still on top, and here we go. It's going to be a big one.
Yeah, I think fortunately and unfortunately, I think our college picks are going to be the same this week again because I think Alabama in general has played better than Georgia this year. Georgia almost lost at Kentucky. What, it was like a 13-12 or
Yep.
something.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah. Each team always like this kind of has a bad game, but I think Alabama is going to be tough to beat in this one at home. Like you said, with the new coach, they're playing well with him.
Hmm.
So I'm going to go with Alabama too on this one.
Nice, nice.
All right, into the NFL. So Minnesota's rolling. What are they? What, 3-0 right
3
now?
0. Yeah,
Yeah,
3 0. Sam Darnold's talk
right.
MVP right now.
A little bit of a surprise, kind of maybe. I'm actually going to go with Green Bay on this one. I like some of the stuff they've done the last few weeks, but I'm going to try to pick the upset here, but I think I'm going to go with Green Bay on this one. I can't remember what they did this weekend, but
They
I know
won. Yeah,
a
they
couple
beat
weeks
Tennessee.
couple weeks ago they had a win
Hmm.
with who was that quarterback for them?
Malik Willis.
Yeah, Malik Willis out of Liberty University, right?
Yep, yep, out of Liberty.
So
Yeah.
I think they're playing well too, but I'm gonna go with Green Bay on this one.
This is a tough game. This is a
Yeah.
tough game. Sam Darnold had a an MRI on his knee yesterday and he came back normal, which is good, just a bone bruise. Um Green Bay's got Jordan Love that's been out, but he's hopefully coming back this week.
Hmm.
Uh I just don't think Minnesota's I don't know. I don't think they're for real yet. And
Right.
and and it's and I may be eating my words on this one later in the season, but
If you think
uh
we're eating our words on Minnesota, comment, subscribe below. We'd love to
yeah,
hear your
like
feedback.
I'm gonna go Green Bay. I just don't like I'm surprised at what they're doing, but if they beat Green Bay here, I may be changing my tune with
Yep.
them a little
Yep.
bit. Um but yeah, so I'm gonna go Green Bay. So New Orleans and Atlanta. New Orleans, big shocker this past week against Philadelphia. I thought they would have beaten
Yeah,
Philly
me too.
at the way they've been playing, and they just kind of came out and laid an egg at home. So you're going to
Yep.
Atlanta. Atlanta had a heartbreaking loss against Kansas
Yep.
City. I do not know why. For the love of me, I do not know why you try to run outside when
Right.
it's 4th and inches.
Against
I,
Kansas City's
I
defense.
just I don't know why teams do that. I don't
Run
know
it up the
why
middle.
Philadelphia
Well,
against Atlanta try to throw the ball on fourth down. You know what I mean?
speaking of that, not
Third
just in
down.
NFL, but like I said, I was at the BYU K-State game. What did they keep trying to do with Avery Johnson? They kept on fourth down. They ran him to the outside. What did they not make every time?
Every
The
time.
outside run on fourth down. He runs up the middle.
Look,
He might have even broken a long one time.
look,
There, it was open. You're right.
I
He
hate
run
it.
up the
I hate it
middle.
when it's fourth down in a yard or less than a yard and you go back in the shotgun. I mean,
Right,
you're bringing it back 5 yards. You're throwing the ball
right,
back 5 yards
right.
to get one.
Risking a fumble because of the
So
snap.
much. But
Yeah.
that's my thought on it. I think um
And
it, hmm,
everybody's saying the refs this, refs that. Yes, Chiefs are maybe getting some calls. I do think the Kelsey brothers put it good. Now, granted, Travis is on the Chiefs team, but like Jason said, he's like the difference between the Chiefs and everybody else is when the Chiefs get the calls to go their way, they make you pay.
yeah.
The
Oh
other
yeah.
teams don't.
Yep.
But it also shouldn't come down to that one play. They had
Well,
turnovers.
I mean, they had 4th and inches on the
Right,
10-yard line, and
right.
it has nothing to do with that 2 point conversion or
No,
that one. Nothing to do with that.
no,
You
it's
have
not the
fourth and
official's
inches.
fault.
Kirk Cousins, get the ball, get behind your big old center and
Right.
guard, and get
Man
a
up, run
quarter
it
of a
up the
yard.
middle. Those are the teams
Buck
that
up,
win.
let's go, young man.
Those are the
Let's
teams
go.
that win championships. Are the ones that run it up the middle. But it's
I agree,
refs this,
but
refs that. NFL isn't rigged. You and I worked in the NFL. It's
but they look,
it's
and I get it, and I get
I
there's a
do
lot of
too.
things that
But
go into it. But anyway, back to our we can
yep,
talk about this all night if we go. Back to
right.
this. I'm gonna go with Atlanta here. I think they're gonna bounce back. I think they're a better team than what they say. I think they're gonna beat New Orleans. I think New Orleans. There were some holes that were found in the Philadelphia Eagles game that people are gonna exploit here. So
Yep.
I'm gonna say Atlanta.
Yeah, I think this is a tough one too. Both I think are pretty good
Divisional
teams.
game, big
Yep.
divisional game.
Yep. I'm actually gonna go with New Orleans here. So I'm gonna have to stick with the city I lived in for a little bit and interned at and worked in the Superdome a couple times with some games at Tulane and knew some people that worked with the Saints and stuff. I think New Orleans will get back to it. The game could be flipped the other way too, but if what is it? Their receiver is it Kamara or whatever his name is?
Running back. Yep.
Yeah. He's a good
Yeah,
player. If he has a
great
heck
player.
of a game again, I think New Orleans definitely takes it. And Atlanta just seems to be that team that gets so close, kind of like the Super Bowl.
Well,
Then
we'll see.
something happens.
Yep.
But I'm gonna go with New Orleans in that one.
All right, you're up. Buffalo and Baltimore, buddy.
Um, as much as gosh, I don't want to really pick either of these teams, but I think I'm gonna go with Buffalo on this one. This is a tough one. Obviously, Baltimore got on the win track this week. They beat the heck out of Dallas. I think Dallas is a little overrated compared to what people were thinking at the season. It's going to be interesting to see what happens there, especially if they lose another one. Pretty
Hmm.
good, but yeah, Josh Allen's playing. He's playing lights out right
Lights
now.
out.
MVP
Lights out.
type stuff. Buffalo's rolling right now, and they've won their games pretty good.
Yeah,
um,
they've been pretty dominant, pretty
their
dominant. They're running
offense
the
has been
football.
on
They're running the football. That's the key.
right,
They're running the football, and that's
which is opening it up for Josh.
yeah.
I think Buffalo will take this one. I like Lamar Jackson. Baltimore is stacked, but I think they just rely on him too much, and I think that's been their downfall going into the playoffs the last several years. And um, anyways, yeah.
So I'm gonna pick Baltimore here, and here's why I'm gonna pick Baltimore. I'm gonna give you some preaching
Are
on
you
it.
gonna get +2? Are you gonna catch up to me on this one because of these picks?
Here's the thing about Baltimore is Baltimore I think is going to control the clock. They're going to run Derrick Henry. Buffalo's defense has been a little bit of suspect against the run. I think this is going to be a grind out 2.5 hour game with Baltimore controlling the clock, running the heck out of the ball. And I think it'll come down to um, a late score at the end, and the defense is just going to be gassed for Buffalo. I like Buffalo a lot. I think Buffalo's got a shot to go to the Super Bowl, but I just think Baltimore may have found something here with running the ball against Dallas. I think it's at home, it's prime time, and they're gonna have something to prove here. Lamar Jackson, I think will have a big day. I think he'll have a big day running the ball, and I think Derrick Henry's going to go in for 2 scores. So, I think it'll be a close game, but I think
Could
Baltimore
be
gets
right.
it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Last one here. Seattle and Detroit. The two unbeaten. Oh, well, Seattle's unbeaten at 3-0. Detroit's 2-1, coming off a good win over in Arizona. I am going to pick Detroit for this one. I think Detroit is a primetime game. They get up for these primetime games recently. I think Dan Campbell has done a great job there. I still think, they're still, I think, a little bit bitter about that Tampa Bay loss, and everybody was like, "What's going on? What's wrong with you guys?" Nothing's wrong with them; they're fine. So I'm going to pick Detroit. I think they're going to come out. I think they're going to come out. And I think they're going to come out pretty aggressive. If they can control DK Metcalf, which they did a really good job against Arizona's receivers last week, and Marvin Harrison Jr. and Kyler Murray. Kind of shut them down a little bit. I think they'll do the same for DK Metcalf, and I think they're going to get after Geno Smith. I think he's going to have a long day ahead of him. So I'm picking Detroit.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with that pick too on this one. I'm a big fan of Detroit right now. Even that Tampa loss, their coach basically blamed it on him.
Yep.
So yeah, I think Detroit's got a shot to go to the Super Bowl for the NFC, and I'm still on that train right now, and I would love to see that happen for
Yeah.
friend Will, who's the video coordinator there. But yeah, I think Detroit's the better team right now as far as this goes. So. But
Well,
that's
that's
our
it. That's the
picks for the
picks.
week. So we'll see. Can you make can you gain some points? We'll
Or am
see what
I in
happens here.
real big
College,
trouble?
we picked the same. So we're not getting
Yep.
not nobody's gonna change anything there, but it'll have to come down to these NFL games again. So we'll see what happens. But that's all I got for today. I don't know if you got anything else or
No, no, I think that's it. Appreciate you all joining us and checking us out here a little bit and having some good old times with you guys with these videos. And if you like us, even if you don't like us,
Yeah.
punch that subscribe button on the bottom
Send
and
your comments, bad or good, below.
comments. Good, wrong,
As
indifferent,
long as they're
cares,
appropriate, nothing inappropriate, but yeah.
please.
But
So
no, we appreciate it, and everybody have a good week. If you're playing golf, hit them straight, and the most important thing is have fun.
have fun. All right. See you guys later.